Hello, and welcome to the Hive Mind podcast, where the collective wisdom of the travel industry helps you match travelers with the right destinations and the right hotels. I'm your host, Whitney Schindler, founder and CEO of The Hive, a platform designed to give travel advisors organized, actionable insights you can put to work right away. Each week, I sit down for focused, real-world conversations with travel advisors, hoteliers, and supplier partners who know these places inside and out. We break down how each hotel is best suited to a specific client profile, take quick deep dives into destinations, and share pro tips to help you make the most of the Hive. And here's the best part. You don't need to take notes while you listen. Go about your day, tune in, and know that every insight from these conversations is already captured and organized inside the Hive, so it's there when you actually need it. And if you're on the Hive now, you can find these notes in the Supplier Pulse section. If you aren't on the Hive yet, you can get resources from this and other episodes when you join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. Today's episode is a part of the Stay Guide, where we explore multiple hotels in a single destination to highlight their unique strengths, differences, and the clients they're best suited for. Today we're focusing on Disney World's deluxe hotels, and while there are many properties in this area, we'll be diving into the following: Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, Disney's Contemporary Resort, Disney's Beach Club Resort, Disney's Yacht Club Resort, Disney's BoardWalk Inn, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Disney's Riviera Resort, and a small mention of Four Seasons Resort Orlando at Walt Disney World Resort and Evermore Orlando Resort. The goal isn't to rank or compare, but to give you the clarity and confidence to guide your clients with ease. Joining us to discuss their experience of staying at these properties and conducting site inspections is Danielle Schneider, owner of Postcard Travel, and Debbie Robinson, a travel advisor with Go Get It Events and Travel. Let's dive in. Okay, hello everyone. Today we are diving into Disney hotels, and not just all of the Disney hotels, because I've come to learn recently that there are about 65 million options near all over the parks and vacation villas and hotels and room categories and lots of things. So together with Danielle and Debbie today, we're going to specifically dive into the deluxe resorts. And if you have no idea what that means, fear not. Danielle and Debbie are going to tell us in just a second. But before we dive in, Danielle, can you tell us, welcome to the podcast officially, and can you tell us your connection to Disney? Because you have become known as an advisor who loves to plan Disney, so much so that advisors like myself who do not plan Disney come to you and just say, here, take them, plan their Disney, and then they'll come back to me later. How did you become that person? You must have a deep love for Disney.
You got it. Well, I've been going to Disney my whole life. My dad's company used to do a Disney trip when we were little, so it was a really proud moment for him to be able to take his family to Disney, and it has just stayed as a part of our family. So where most people have those nostalgic memories, like at the shore or wherever it might be, ours is Disney. So by nature of that, that's how I entered the travel industry, like many people do. And
so you started Disney. That was your original travel advisor experience.
It was. And I thought, I'm never going to do anywhere else in the world. I'm just going to stick with Disney. Lo and behold, that wasn't the case. So yeah, it's a big part of our business today. And I really just, I love it. It's
amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Debbie, tell us a little bit of your connection to Disney.
So I am a true Floridian. Grew up every vacation 4 or 5 times a year. Let's go to Disney World. So amazing. That's where my love for Disney sprouted. Had kids, had friends that had kids, had no idea what they were doing. Became a Disney travel agent, and then grew into the luxury space after that.
So I know that Danielle is selling both Disney and just normal kind of custom trips around the world. I don't mean normal. I just mean more typical, just global kind of travel expertise. Are you doing the same, Debbie, or are you solely focused on Disney?
I'm doing the same.
Okay, amazing. So my first question for you guys, I wish you could see this email that Danielle sent me about Disney, because, whoa, I got like a full-on crash course by email preparing for this podcast. So from what I understand, which Danielle and Debbie have shared, is that there are property tiers to consider: value, moderate, and deluxe. And today we're going to stick with just the deluxe properties, and we're also going to include a couple of the luxury, like Four Seasons, that's off Disney property but nearby. But can you just give us the quick brief on how you would articulate and differentiate value, moderate, and deluxe, and how those property tiers, how to separate those property tiers for to match what a client might be looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. So the value resorts are kind of your more budget friendly, bigger resorts. There's a little bit limited, they're a little bit more limited in food offerings in that they might have some type of food court
Okay.
situation, and that kind of makes it a value property.
Okay.
Whereas, Deb, you want to talk about the moderate resorts?
So moderates are almost a hybrid where they're larger in the property, same as a value, but they may have one dining outlet and the cafeteria style and a water slide, which is big for some families. And then from
Mhm.
there, we would grow to the deluxe properties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
And what
deluxe
types of
properties.
amenities can we look forward to at the deluxe properties?
Absolutely. So the deluxe properties have restaurants on property. They have a lot of different eating options for guests. They also have easy transportation, and they're in close proximity to one or more of the parks, and that's a big thing
Okay.
at Disney. Location is really what brings value to the property, as well as the size. So these properties tend to be a little bit smaller and a little bit more easy to transverse. So that's really
Mhm.
kind of what makes them a deluxe property.
So the value and moderate properties, not only are they bigger and have fewer kind of dining on site, but they're also further away from the parks. Am I understanding that
Mhm.
correctly? And is
Yes.
transportation provided from the value and moderate, or not at all? Those are a little bit more kind of self-serve. Those families have a car. Like what are we looking at here?
Sure, yes. So those properties are mostly bus transportation
Okay.
to all the parks, which, you know, is a great way to be able to get there. Of course, Disney provides bus transportation. But when you have access to something like the monorail, or you can walk into one or two of the parks, it really brings a lot of value
Got it.
in into your vacation, because convenience is, of course, when you're
Yes.
traveling with three little kids or four little kids, convenience is key.
Yes. Okay. No, this makes perfect sense. When you say monorail, like I've heard of the Disney monorail, but like thank you for mentioning it because I was like, well, how did these other people get into Disney? So so from the deluxe properties, there's either a monorail that makes it very easy to get to the into the park, or you can walk, depending on which park you're closest to.
Or
Go
boat or
ahead, Deb.
Skyliner. There's
Hmm.
also the Disney boat system and the Skyliner as well.
Okay, I'm not going to ask a follow-up question on this.
No.
You guys, there is so much to learn about Disney, and we are not going to learn everything in 45 minutes. So I'm going to stay focused. um, and I'm going to read through the deluxe resorts that we're going to run through today, because it's a fairly long list. So there are three deluxe resorts that are close to Magic Kingdom: the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, the Polynesian Village Resort, and the Contemporary Resort. Then there are three deluxe resorts that are close to Epcot: the Beach Club Resort, the Yacht Club Resort, and BoardWalk Inn. And then there are two others, the Animal Kingdom Lodge and Wilderness Lodge. And I'm going to let you two describe to me how those are different. Um, should we start high level just to discuss how does a client, or how do you guide a client to decide, like, okay, we've decided we want deluxe, we want a higher level amenity, we want closer proximity to the parks, we want that those nicer transportation options. So like deluxe, check. Now we move on to like which deluxe. Debbie, how do you talk with clients to help them decide if they want to focus on one of the deluxe resorts that is closer to Magic Kingdom versus one of the deluxe
Mhm.
resorts that's in the Epcot area?
So a big deciding factor is age of children and the parks you'd like to
Okay.
visit. So if they
Okay.
have younger toddler kids that are still napping and they'll be spending most of their time at Magic Kingdom, then I would do Grand Floridian, Polynesian, or Contemporary. Older
Okay.
kids that like Epcot, Hollywood Studios, the thrill seekers, then I would move them to a beach club, Epcot resort area for that
Okay.
family. That
Okay, that
helps.
makes a lot of sense. Are there any other, Danielle, are there any other factors other than like the age of the children? I mean, I guess
Yeah.
if clients are returning and they say like, oh, in our first Disney trip, we were at Magic Kingdom a lot. Now we want to be closer to Epcot. I suppose that's a factor as well. Are there any other factors that you think about when helping clients decide which park they might want to be closest to?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I especially think the frequency that you do travel to Disney, because if you are someone who goes to Disney a lot and you don't need to check any of those boxes, you might be at a resort like the Riviera, which is a lovely luxury resort, but transportation is with the Skyliner is maybe not as easy as some might say that if you were on the monorail or if you were walking distance, but you're not somebody who's in the park all day. You're not somebody you might go in, do a few rides, and then go back and spend time at the pool. And it's a great resort for that because you're getting really lovely rooms, a really lovely hotel. And you don't need to be right in the thick of it. So
Yes.
that is a great determining factor too.
And thank you for reminding me because we are also going to briefly touch on the Four Seasons Resort Orlando, as well as Evermore Orlando Resort. I know, Danielle, you haven't stayed at Evermore, but we can at least talk about what it is and in which case we should consider it. Debbie, have you stayed or visited Evermore?
I've not stayed at the Evermore. I've planned
Okay.
trips there and spoke to clients about it.
Okay. Because I think, Danielle, to your point, um, the few times I've even sniffed at Disney is when clients actually stayed at Four Seasons and they weren't planning a Disney vacation. They were going to be in Orlando for a different purpose and they wanted to
Side
go
of
to
Disney.
Disney for a
Mhm.
day. But the other 5 days, they were doing other things or they just wanted to enjoy like a nice resort, swim, and do whatever. And so Four Seasons made a lot of sense. So I think to your point, Danielle, of like not necessarily needing to be right in the mix of all the things sometimes is a really important consideration as well.
Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then contrasting, going along with that as well, when you're staying a little bit outside, are you looking for just a regular hotel type situation or with Evermore, are you needing more of a family style living area or a home? Those have the options there as well. So that helps determine outside of the parks. Mm.
So I kind of started this by asking, how do you decide if you want to be closer to Magic Kingdom or Epcot? And I think that the age of the children and your experience with Disney makes a lot of sense. Are there, when looking at this list of deluxe resorts, do you guys ever just think, well, regardless of how old your kids are or how many times you've been, these are my two favorites, and I'm still going to talk about these. Like, yeah, you're both shaking your heads. Yes. Okay. So Daniel, I want to know your thoughts on this. Like maybe I kind of went in the direction that's not even always how you start a call with clients. Like if you just have favorites, then like, how do you guide, this is a lot of deluxe resorts. I would never,
Mhm.
if we were planning a trip to Amsterdam, I would never go to a client with 8 hotels. Right. I would go to them
Right.
with two and I would talk about the pros and cons between the two. Right.
Mhm. I think it always comes down to that important question, like what are you hoping to get out of this trip that we ask in every trip that we're planning?
Hmm.
You have folks, and when they start to say little things like, "Oh, my children love the princesses," the Polynesian is Moana themed, so slightly, subtly, in a very luxury style way. So that might, if they have little girls who are, between the ages of 4 and 10, and so that kind of leans me a little bit that
Okay.
way.
Okay.
As far as resorts that I always put on any list, and I don't know if they're just because they're personal favorites of mine, you will always find the Grand Floridian, you will always find the Beach Club, and for me, it's nostalgic reasons. We always stay at the boardwalk, so you'll find those usually on my proposals that I'm sending out. So
Okay.
I just feel like those are three properties, Polynesian as well, that you can't go wrong with for a family. So there's going to be something that they love about each one
Okay.
of those.
One of the most valuable conversations we can have is around hotels in a single destination, really digging into what makes each one unique and who they're best suited for. For the Stay Guide, I'm looking for advisors who have personally visited 3 or more hotels in one city, region, or island and are ready to share their takeaways. If that sounds like you, I'd love to have you join me for a future episode. Head to thehive.travel/podcast to fill out the interest form and tell me more. Debbie, do you have a few that kind of regardless of ages or someone's experience of Disney that you always like to recommend as well?
So I do, but if they're since I'm from Florida, a lot of our clients don't need a great pool. They just want to go to the parks. But if I have somebody from up north, I'm like, okay, we should check out the Beach Club, best pool. Grand
Okay.
Floridian, if you have a little princess traveling with you, or the Riviera, if you want to escape and not have a club level option, but you don't mind feeling at home with your family
Hmm.
for an extended
Hmm.
stay, then those are usually my top picks for families.
So far I've heard ages of children, where like their experience with Disney, whether it's their first trip or multiple trips, if they have a particular like character or movie
Hmm.
favorite situation, like that might not be the deciding factor, but it's a good nuance or contextual detail to know. And if the swimming pool is important, as you mentioned, Debbie, like not everyone's
Hmm.
coming to use the pool. Um, so if that's not important or if that's a priority, that might also kind of steer you. Good to know. Danielle, can you share briefly the detail about some of these having like the villa situation and the like I'm assuming that it's like a hotel room, a classic hotel room setup versus a more like multi-bedroom, we have a kitchen and a living room setup.
Yeah, very high level. Disney has a program called the Disney Vacation Club. So owners buy into that. And those vacation club rentals can be a part of the hotel. So Grand Floridian will have the regular hotel rooms, and then they will have the DVC section. Those
Okay.
rooms do become available to book to the general public at a certain
Hmm.
point, and
Okay.
typically it's around 11 months out.
Okay.
But that Disney is able to do whatever they want to do. So sometimes
Hmm.
it's not 11 months out. So it what really kind of helps decide between if you're saying in the regular resort section versus the villa section is, are you there for, do you need space? Are you looking
Hmm.
for a washer and a dryer? Maybe
Hmm.
you have some food allergies and you really need a little kitchenette to be able to provide food for your children. Then that would lean towards the villa section of a resort or a villa property. Whereas
Hmm.
maybe you are looking for space is not a priority. You're just there for the convenience of getting to the parks. Then you're probably in a regular hotel room that could have different views, a standard, a water, a theme park, and then also the club level section, maybe where you might want to be. Have that room that has food in it all throughout the day, more of a
Sure.
step up, a luxury level. So
Yeah.
it's really into once you narrow it down to resort, then it's what type of accommodation are you needing for your family?
Hmm.
A lot of the room categories will hold 5 max. And for the family of 6, you're looking at a situation that you are where you either need a connecting, adjoining, or a bigger space to be able to hold those families.
Right. Right. Okay. So let's take we like tiptoed into the weeds there with the vacation club and the villa options and the room configurations, but let's take a step back out and kind of look more with a wider angle to understand like of each of you both have like kind of 3 or 4 properties that are really your favorites and that you're recommending most often. So I want to hone in on those and just discuss like how if you're looking at an individual client profile, how are you helping the client decide which one is right for them? Like, imagine I'm your client. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year or a 6-year-old. I don't have a 4-year-old. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. I've never been to Disney. I don't know the first thing about these Disney parks. I don't know what the monorail is, but I'm going to go Google it after this. Like, I don't know anything. So I don't really have a trip that I'm envisioning. I just want it to be easy and I want it to be relaxing. And so, like, guide me through this decision making process. Danielle, you told me, I think you said Grand Floridian, Polynesian Village, Beach Club, and
And
Boardwalk
boardwalk.
are the top 4. Okay,
Yeah,
walk me through these. They all sound great, Danielle. I don't know. Which one should I pick?
absolutely.
How,
Well,
like, what,
considering it.
what are the details that differentiate them? I think that's what I'm trying to understand.
Absolutely. We'd be taking a look at you, and it's your first time going to Disney. So, whenever, a 4-year-old or that 6-year-old that you have is, it's their first time in Disney. So being close to the Magic Kingdom, that's quintessential Disney. That's what they see in everything, every movie that they've watched. And it's where you as a parent are going to be able to watch them walk in and see the Magic Kingdom. So I would focus my search on the 3 Magic Kingdom resorts. Simply, one, you have smaller children, so the ease of the monorail is going to make your trip a lot more pleasant. If you need to get back and you need to get to those resorts and take a midday break, which remember is Florida. It's hot. There are tons of people all the time. So that midday break really makes the trip a lot of times. And having the ease and the access to do that is huge. For your family, I would ask you, are you really looking for a stay? And especially as we're talking, are you the type of folks who really want something grand, want something, is the feel of a hotel when you walk into it? Are you more of a casual traveler? Or are you somebody who likes luxury and kind of get that asked that way? So that is helping me decide between the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian. Honestly, for me, contemporary is on a monorail, but it's probably third on my list in the resorts over there. Yeah, it feels contemporary. A lot of times I picture it as more of a conference hotel, but a lot of folks really love that. And there is one key factor in that you can walk across the street and walk into the Magic Kingdom. So sometimes if you've got 2 kids in strollers and you don't want to be up the stairs, waiting for the elevator, on and off the monorail, a lot of times folks will say, we want to be able to walk. And then that, so then we recommend the contemporary as well. Yeah.
Okay. So with Polynesian or Grand Floridian, we would be taking monorail
or a boat.
Yeah, or a boat. There's boat access as well. Yeah.
Okay.
You have to fold up your stroller on that boat though. So sometimes folks, if you have a sleeping baby and they have just gotten to sleep and they tell you have to fold it up, that can not be so pleasant. So
so I have never even looked at pictures of these resorts, and I can already tell you I want contemporary.
Yeah,
you make me wake up a sleeping baby, I will not be happy.
I know. I know. It's
now, what if I said luxury is the priority? Because you were kind of describing like a luxury versus a casual experience. Then which hotel would you steer me toward?
I mean, yeah, Grand
Floridian. You have to. And then if you're
That's
that
the most
luxury, Grand Floridian club level.
Yeah.
You might as well do club level
now.
then.
I don't know what Grand Floridian looks like, but does it compare to Four Seasons, or is Four Seasons still a notch above Grand Floridian?
I think it's still a notch above. I think Four Seasons is Four Seasons. The Grand Floridian was modeled after the Hotel del Coronado out in California, so it is stunning. But if you have those Four Seasons travelers folks who are used to the
champagne upon arrival and early check-in and complimentary breakfast.
If you have a Four Seasons client, even if they are planning to go to the parks every day, they're still if they want the Four Seasons level experience, they still may want to stay at Four Seasons.
Yeah, they're usually booking the VIP tour too, 2 or 3 days during their experience there. So getting into the parks early and all that early access that you will get by staying on Disney property really does not apply to them, because they'll have the guide that'll help them through.
Okay, perfect. Debbie, let's imagine that I have been to Disney many times. And I have like a 12 and a 14-year-old. Do you ever get this kind of family?
Oh, that's my family almost.
Perfect. I had no idea. Okay. Describe to me what you would kind of think through, what questions would you ask me, and kind of what hotels come top of mind for a different family profile.
So I would ask, do you have boys or girls? What's their favorite Disney characters? Do they like to ride rides? That's what I would be thinking. Because if you like a thrill seeker, they like the big rides and they're older kids, I would either do BoardWalk. Kids love it there because it's just fun. They can grab their slice of pizza on the boardwalk, or the Riviera, because it's easy for those kids to get on and off the Skyliner. The parents love it. The food is great. It's close enough that it's easy access to Disney, but you feel like you've escaped a little bit.
Okay. Okay. So the thrill-seeking rides, are they more at Epcot?
Yeah, Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Okay. What is the age in terms of like kids being old enough and big enough to go on more of the thrill-seeking rides that you might start to shift? Like I'm sure there's an
Mm,
in-between age that's like, ooh, they might be able to go on some things, but not all things. Do you kind of know what age that's happening in?
like, what do you think? 7, 8? When
Yeah, and
they're
even more so with the rides, it's the height
Mhm.
It's
requirement.
the
So
height.
if you have a big 7-year-old, they can go on any, and they're a
Yeah,
Okay.
thrill rider. They can get on those
they can
rides.
get on
Okay.
anything.
Um, hmm hmm hmm
Because I think with my small kids, that's always the first thing I look at when I'm looking at any sort of amusement park or like water park is like, what are the height requirements on all these things? And we've actually opted
Hmm.
not to go to one in the last couple of years because we could see that half of it she wouldn't be able to do. And we're like,
Hmm.
we're just going to wait. Like, she can't even do these yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important. And, I, also, too, if you have folks who are, so considering that age, we have our 7-year-olds and our tall 7-year-olds, but you may have kids who want to be able to go back to the resort and want to swim on their own. Of course, that's totally a parent decision what they can do,
Sure.
but they can get on Disney transportation. So, like Debbie said, if you have, your 14 and your 16-year-old staying at the Riviera and they want to stay in the parks and the parents want to go back, they can take the Disney transportation around and get, to and from the resorts. So that might be a factor too. Are you someone who wants to have the access, that kind of access for your kids? Then we're picking certain resorts as well.
Hmm.
Okay. The travel community is elevated when we share what we know, and that's exactly what the Hive is all about. It's our expertise vault, a living library of hotel details, destination insights, and advisor takeaways. You benefit from the wisdom of the community, and your own contributions make it stronger. Whether you're new, scaling, or leading a team, the Hive helps us all grow smarter together. Learn more anytime at thehive.travel. So we already kind of decided that the Grand Floridian is the most luxurious option in the Magic Kingdom area. Which would you consider the most luxurious option in the Epcot area?
Go
Well,
ahead, Deb. You want to take that one?
I, as you can tell, I love the Riviera.
Hmm.
But if it's a guest that wants luxury and club level, then you would do Beach or Yacht Club.
Yeah. So the Riviera is close. It's very close to, it's not walkable. So you do have to take the Skyliner, but it is of the Grand Floridian level. So it comes down to access. What do you want there? Do you want to
Hmm.
be able to walk or do you want a club level room? Because then you're looking at Beach Club, Boardwalk, Yacht Club. Those are all walkable in a boat. Or are you okay being on the Skyliner? And it's a great form of transportation, but sometimes the weather can cause issues with the
Hmm.
Skyliner. So you can be diverted and on bus transportation. So are you okay with are you flexible and are you okay with kind of working with that in your vacation, or do you want to be there where you can walk right to your resort? Because then that helps a lot too. Your clients will say things like easy access is hugely important to us, and that'll
Hmm.
guide you just a little bit to kind of focus on the beach or the yacht club or the boardwalk in that area. Um,
So
I
do
find
I
that Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead,
sorry,
sorry.
Whitney. I find that if I have adults traveling, the yacht club is a really great place for
Hmm.
them. It's a little bit more refined feeling. It's a little bit more formal. Yes, there are kids, of course, everywhere. It's Disney, but I just find that my adult travelers really enjoy the yacht club. Um, it's there's a little bit more of a calmness to it, a little bit more of an elevated, older feel, in
Hmm.
my opinion. And the
So
beach
perfect
club is a little
segue.
beachy and fun.
Hmm.
Okay,
So,
because I was gonna ask, like, do you ever have like a couple that's just adults only, or like a group for like a
Hmm.
bachelorette party that's just all adults and no children come to you and want to go to Disney?
Oh
do
yeah.
we ever? Yeah, you would fall off your chair.
Oh
No, I
man.
totally believe it. I mean, I have met adults who are like who don't have children and who go to Disney often because they love
Hmm.
it. So I do know that this is a thing. Where, which hotels do you send them? Like, if
Cool.
you can't go to Disney and avoid children, obviously,
Mhm.
but if it's like, okay, can we minimize the tiny screaming toddlers?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, if
Uh-huh.
I
Where
was
do you
doing a
find them?
bachelorette party, I would
Mhm.
recommend either the Boardwalk Villa for the group or Saratoga Springs Villas, which is also a deluxe property, but downtown Disney area. So they could take the boat to go out to their dinners and their late night activities. Or the Boardwalk because of the easy access to the International Gateway at Epcot. That's where all the fun is had around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
both mentioned, I'm having to like reference this email that you sent me, Danielle, to like keep all these things straight. You've
I
both
know. It's
referenced
Disney.
Riviera, and now I think Debbie, you just said Saratoga Springs. Is that what you mentioned?
Mm,
Yes,
Yeah.
mhm.
So these are both deluxe villa resorts. Does that
correct.
mean that they only have the villa configuration and they don't just have like a standard hotel room?
They do. So they have a deluxe studio, which is a
Okay.
queen size bed and some type of pull down. It's so cool. They have these trundle beds that'll pull down that fold up into a couch during the day, which is really cool if you have some grown up travelers because it gives you the area to hang out in. But then obviously you have two sleeping situations. So that's in a deluxe studio. Um, and yeah, and it really when it's laid out as a sleeping room is like a standard hotel room. Has a little
So
mini
is it
kitchenette in there.
okay? So is it separated because it's part of Disney Vacation Club? Is that why it's like separated in terms of like options to consider?
Yeah, and then also a two-bedroom villa at Disney is made up of a one-bedroom villa and a deluxe studio that connects. So it's like
Okay.
that hotel room, a living room, and a king-size bedroom. So they have all
Okay.
those configuration sets so they can sell them in different ways. Mhm. I know.
Okay.
Well, yep. Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Okay. So where so we talked about Riviera and Saratoga, and I think you said, was there another one that you mentioned that would be great for like an adults only type of crew,
Um,
whether it's
Boardwalk.
bachelorette or just or and boardwalk too? Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let's before we wrap up, let's talk for one more minute about Evermore, Orlando Resort, and Four Seasons Resort. So we already described Four Seasons a little bit. When and where does Evermore come into the picture?
Evermore is new, so I find that I'm
Okay.
booking it for families. They have a really big, but it's like a big center pool area, and they have a lot of rental home options there. So I'm I'm booking that for families who need the space, who want the room, and essentially it kind of is similar to Four Seasons. They want a vacation with a side of Disney because you do have it.
Okay.
They can't book their lightning lanes until 3 days prior. So they don't have all the accesses of staying on Disney property. The reason why folks go to Disney and the ease of being on
Mhm.
property, but you get that bigger space. So it's a very, what determines that the off property stays are do you want luxury and to be waited on in your champagne and you're a Four
Mhm.
Seasons level traveler, or do you need the space? And that really kind of is what helps me determine between Evermore and
When
Four
you say
Seasons off
space,
property.
do you just mean that room configurations are just really big, or what do you mean by the space?
They have a number of different options. You can rent homes up to like 7 bedroom homes there,
Got it.
or
Okay.
condo style properties.
Mm.
So there's a bunch of configurations over there that are really helpful when you have either bigger groups or larger families or families traveling together.
Okay. Okay. How do you think about Evermore, Debbie, or Four Seasons? Like, do you wait for clients to ask about those? Is there a certain profile or something specific that a client could say that kind of helps trigger, like, oh, we should probably talk about these other two options?
If a client mentions that they are luxury, usually same five-star properties, then I always bring up the Four Seasons Resort, especially if they're used to a Four Seasons and they're used to the complimentary kids club and that level of service, room service, special character dining, then they're fit for the Four Seasons. If it's a multi-gen trip, maybe grandma and grandpa are paying for it and it's a big family celebration and they all want to stay together, then Evermore
Hmm.
would come into play. Or they want to also go to Universal, then why not just put them at Evermore for the space and a pool day, Universal Disney, done.
That's what Universal. I'm not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't go
Sorry.
there. Not
I'm sorry.
today.
It's
We'll
just,
do that
it's
in
on
10
that side
episodes
of the
later.
world. It's like, okay.
No, I totally understand. If so, I know that, and this is going to be a very quick question just to wrap things up because I think it can tee us up for another conversation in the future. When it comes to logistics and it comes to, I don't know what they call it, the fast passes, the VIP, the lightning lanes, all of these things. I'm probably not using the right words.
Early entry.
Yes. Or I know that there are like character dinners or like there are like special things that you can access. So I don't know about all of these. I've heard some things. Does where you stay impact your ability to book these things, or can you stay at Four Seasons or Grand Floridian or BoardWalk and you could still get these with the right type of package?
That's another episode, Whitney. However,
I just want a simple, straightforward answer, Danielle.
no,
No.
staying. Yeah, no. Yep. No,
So
staying
do
on
you
Disney
also-
property and at the
Is
deluxe
gonna-
resort will give you access to the extra magic hours, the early entrance hours, and you can also book your lightning lanes at 7 days out versus 3 days out when you're staying off property. So that is huge when you are, yes, correct. And that is huge when you are not somebody who is getting the VIP tour. Also, you can book your dining at 60 plus 10. So you can book for your whole vacation when you are staying on Disney property versus one dinner every morning at 6 a.m. in the morning when you're staying off property. So again, another
How many
episode.
calendar bells do you guys have going off every day when this stuff is opening
A
up?
million.
Yep.
And then if you want Bippity
So-
Boppity Boutique, that's another animal.
Yeah.
So do you like, I'm overwhelmed and I'm basically like a client right now. So do you just tell clients to take a deep breath and you just tackle these things one at a time when they become available? Yeah.
And
Because like, whoa.
no, you can't. And really, we want it to feel like a vacation. You're
Yeah,
spending a lot of
exactly.
money. So we want you to be able to
Exactly.
enjoy it. And that's why, the phone keeps ringing because people who have never done Disney, and even people who have been there really love the way they're walked through in a step-by-step process to make it a digestible vacation.
Wow. Okay. And so when you guys are talking about lightning lanes and early access to the parks and all these types of things, the VIP experience is totally different, is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to stop there. And if you two are kind enough, I'm going to ask you to come back again and explain this to me.
Of course.
Yes, anything.
And you two have all of my Disney business for life. I don't get a lot of requests, but if I do, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. And I'm calling Danielle and Debbie, just like, which one of you answers first?
Oh my goodness.
Is that okay with you guys?
Amazing. It's perfect. I love Disney.
Yeah.
It's like it's so easy to us that we could just do it in our sleep.
Yeah.
that's how
Once
it
you
should
speak
be.
the language, it's really and it's awesome to be able to help people through and to give them experience of a seamless vacation when it's really not.
Yes. Amazing. We have just scratched the surface, but I really, really appreciate both of you just coming on to kind of start pulling back the layers of Disney and helping to kind of dive into these deluxe resorts and how they're differentiated. And I look forward to having you both back on and we can dive into some of the other logistics to discuss all things Disney. I really appreciate you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Bye, ladies.
guys.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Hive Mind podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if you know a friend or colleague who would enjoy this, please share it with them. If you would like insights from this episode landing in your inbox each week, join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. And remember, if you'd like to contribute to a future episode, whether it's sharing your destination expertise or your experience touring hotels, just head to thehive.travel/podcast to learn more and express your interest. We'd love to have you join the conversation. Until next time.